As the founder of the Jesuits, St. Ignatius of Loyola had an everlasting devotion to Our Lady. She was a constant companion of St. Ignatius throughout his life. Mother Mary played a vital role in the calling and vocation of St. Ignatius. Even before he was ordained as a priest and founded the Jesuits community, he developed deep affection for the Blessed Virgin Mary, especially because of a life-changing vision that he had of the Mother of God. This vision transformed him, completely paving way to a clear breakthrough with his self-indulgent past. According to the Ignatian sources, it was suggested that the connections St. Ignatius had in Mary's presence helped him exercise his faith in his spiritual life. The relationship between Ignatius and Mary was more often like the giver and receiver of the spiritual exercises. As per the Ignatian sources, it was clear that Ignatius wrote his first draft on spiritual exercises with some marine assistance at Mandrisa. It was during that time that the presence of Mother Mary was very obvious and realistic. His autobiography held an explicit reference to Mary's intercessory and confirmatory role in the formulation of the content. It also led to one of the versions of the Constitution of the Society of Jesus and the content of his spiritual diary. Once in a letter, St. Ignatius shared his insight about the role of Our Lady in his spirituality by the association he made between human needs and marine intercession. The letter dated 1525 showed how he could see that Marine's role was to obtain graces without any effort on the part of the people. The structure of the last section of the letter was a reflection of the first of the three colloquies in the trilogy that was to take shape later in spiritual diary and spiritual exercises. From his spiritual diary, I quote, "While preparing the altar and after vesting and during the Mass, very intense interior movements and many an intense tears and sobbing with frequent loss of speech, and also after the end of Mass and for long periods during the Mass, preparing and afterwards, the clear view of Our Lady very favorable before the Father to such an extent that in the prayer to the Father, to the Son, and at the consecration, I could not help feeling and seeing her as though she were a part or the doorway of all the grace I felt in my soul." Among the numbered paragraphs in the spiritual exercises, number 47 mentions Our Lady and introductory instruction to the first exercises, number 45 of the first week. This instruction invites those receiving spiritual exercises to compose themselves, call to mind the detail of a particular subject for meditation, suggesting Our Lady or Jesus as examples of such subjects. It was on this auspicious feast of the Assumption of Our Lady in August 1534, St. Ignatius and his 7 companions chose to dedicate themselves to God through vows of poverty and chastity in her presence. Till today, Jesuits pronounce their vows saying, "I vow to your divine majesty before the most holy Virgin Mary." St. Luke narrates that when the time for Pentecost was fulfilled, they were all in one place together, and suddenly there came from the sky a noise like a strong driving wind, and it filled the entire house in which they were. Then there appeared to them tongues as of fire, which parted and came to rest on each one of them. Acts of the Apostle, chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. As a result, Mary's presence joined the apostles in the early days of the church during the prayer. Her presence was very peaceful and helpful, encouraged the apostles in their mission. Mary's role amidst the apostles was invisible, but her presence, being the mother of the Messiah, took a privileged place. It is not without merit that the Church now invokes Mary as Queen of the Apostles. This core event influenced St. Ignatius very much, and he called Mother Mary as the Queen of the Society of Jesus, and also instructed Ite inflammate omnia, means go set the world on fire.